Welcome back to the Skift Daily Briefing. It's Tuesday, July 14th. I'm Sarah Dandashy, and today Canadian travel to the U.S. is ticking up, but the real numbers tell a more sobering story. Lifestyle hotel brands are moving into all-inclusive, and one executive says that the old stigma is finally gone, and a thought-provoking take on why sometimes when hospitality fails, the problem is actually the guest. Let's get into it. So, first up, Canadian travel to the U.S. rose 3.2% in June compared to last year. Now, that sounds like progress, but here's the context that matters. June 2025 was already a disaster. Compare June 2026 to June 2024, before the political tensions and travel boycott kicked in, and Canadian visits are still down 28.7%. The recovery is also uneven. Car trips are up 5.2%, air travel's actually still down 3.8%, and forward bookings tell an even more cautious story. Flight Centre Canada reported U.S. bookings made in June for the rest of the year are down 27% from last year. Their head of communications put it plainly: sentiment towards U.S. travel remains fragile, and right now booking energy is clearly flowing elsewhere, including a 15% surge to Japan and 8% to Italy. The World Cup didn't move the needle much either. Canada hosted matches and saw a 32% jump in air arrivals from tournament countries. But that boost went to Canada, not the United States. The takeaway: the headline number looks like a rebound. The underlying data looks like a market that still hasn't decided to come back. Next up, all-inclusive resorts have long carried a reputation for buffets, wristbands, and watered-down drinks. Ennismore, the lifestyle hotel group behind brands like Mondrian, SLS, and Hyde, are betting that era is over. Its first all-inclusive Mondrian resort is opening in Cancun later this year. SLS already has one near Cancun, Hyde runs one in Turkey, and Ennismore's deputy CEO told Skift that a few years ago this would have been unthinkable. The separation between lifestyle and all-inclusive felt absolute, and that bridge, he says, has now been crossed. Now, the key to making it work: don't let the format swallow the brand. Ennismore kept the same design and programming teams who built standard Mondrian properties to develop the all-inclusive version. The goal is a captive, premium guest who pays more for the convenience, while the property delivers the food, beverage, and cultural programming that lifestyle brands are known for. Now, not every brand in the portfolio can do it. The deputy CEO singled out Delano as too entrenched in its identity to carry the format. But Mondrian and SLS, for example, are malleable enough to pull it off. Now, what does this ultimately mean? All-inclusive used to mean mass market. If Ennismore gets this right, it could mean something very different. And finally, a genuinely thought-provoking piece from Colin Nagy this week. The argument: sometimes when a hospitality experience falls flat, the problem isn't the hotel, it's the guest. Nagy draws on a new book analyzing 1,800 guest reviews from highly regarded hotels. Only 2.6 of comments mentioned design or materials at all. Hotels spend fortunes on interiors, and guests barely register it. What they remember is people. But the bigger point goes further. The best hospitality isn't a one-way delivery. It's an exchange. A guest on a safari who asks questions and shows curiosity gets a completely different experience than one waiting passively with a phone ready for the lion shot. A diner at a Michelin-starred restaurant who photographs every course, instead of engaging with the staff, leaves having received a service not exactly an experience. So the takeaway here is, for travelers, it's super simple. The best trip you'll ever take requires something from you. And it's not more money, it's just more attention. Well, that's it for your Skift Daily Briefing. For more industry news, head to skift.com. And as always, subscribe at skift.com/daily. Thanks so much for listening.